speaker. Do you know what? I was 17 years old, and I was at my high school, and an Indian man who was cleaning the toilets, 61-year-old Arnold, in my high school, he looked at me one day and he said, "You, Nick." I said, "Yes." "You're in the student government." "Yes, I am." He said, "Congratulations." I said, "Thank you very much." He said, "You are gonna be a speaker." And I said, "Come again?" He said, "You're gonna be a speaker." I said, "What are you talking about? What am I gonna speak about?" He said, "Your story." I said, "I don't have a story." He said, "Yes, you do." I said, "No, I don't." Now get this, I'm at 17 years old at that time, and this is the journey of my life. I was encouraged by my parents. They always said, "Don't worry, you're beautiful, we love you, there's a special purpose for your life, just keep on going, do your best." Guys, sorry. If you give me a phone with the countdown clock that locks itself, I can't get back in. I'm very sorry. I'm sorry, I just have to tell you. Sorry, just run up here and give me my phone if you want. I can get, thanks Steve. I don't know whose phone that is. Everyone, this is Steve, my cousin. Everyone say hi, Steve. Excuse me. How much time do I have left, please? 2-0 or 3-0? 2-0. 20 minutes left. Wow, that flew. Stopwatch. Start. I love you too. Ready? I think you jibbed me of 5 minutes, mate. I love you. Here we go. Do you see this? This is the path of encouragement towards your dream and your goal. Encouragement brings you closer. Discouragement takes you away. It only takes 3 or 5 seconds for someone to discourage you, tell you something negative, and then you know what happens when you walk away? You repeat it again and again and again and again and again. And that was my disability. It was allowing people's opinions to define me in a way that I actually became my worst enemy. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I would see no arms and no legs. And I came home one day from school and I said, there's got to be at least one thing that something is good about me. I just wish people would see who I am on the inside. And I looked at myself in the mirror and said, it's okay. You just can't give up on you. It's okay. You just can't give up on you. And when I was 10 years old, I nearly gave up. I actually tried to drown myself in my bathtub, believing that there was no hope. Can you imagine if I went through with that? I would limit myself to never seeing my wife, my children, travel 70 countries, being in the room of royalty, 18 presidents, speaking in front of 10 governments, and bringing in social, emotional learning curriculum for young people to know values in their life, and even talk to governments to allow special needs children to now go to school. It's unimaginable. But you can't give up on you, and we're like, I can't. Well, you don't know what you can achieve until you try. Thomas Edison, he made the light bulb. Did anyone know how many times he tried? 10,000 times. Someone came up to him and said, dude, how does it feel failing 9,999 times? He said, I never failed 9,999 times. Now I know 9,999 ways in how not to make a light bulb. I want you to know that when that janitor looked at me, guess what? Sometimes People believe in you before you do. Everything starts with a vision. Dubai started with one person believing. Any big company started with one person believing. And anyone who is successful will never tell you that they did it on their own. Tony Robbins will never say that. Nick Vujicic will never say that, because it takes people to come alongside of you, this huge event. Ask them how many people encouraged them, empowered them, but it took one vision. What is your vision? Your little brother here is letting you know, I believe in you. As that janitor looked at me and he said, you are going to be a speaker. I said, no way. Do you know what freaked me out? Do you know that the biggest fear in the world is public speaking? Do you know that the second biggest fear in the world is death itself? So some people would rather die before they become a public speaker. And you know, the janitor was so adamant, he comes up to me and he says, I want you to speak in front of 6 people. And I'm like, no thank you, and I walked away. The next day, he comes and he says, Nick, speak. I said, no, and I walk away. Next day, he looks at me, I look at him, I start walking away. He starts jumping after me. He's running after me. And he says, please, please, please. After 3 months, he twists my arm, and I said, yes. And I got him in front of, did you get that joke? And I sat down in front of 6 people, and my palms were sweating, my knees were shaking. I had no idea what to say. And all of a sudden, this girl started to cry, and it was amazing. And you look someone in the eyes. When I look at you, I don't look at your clothes. I don't look at your body. I look at your eyes. When I look at someone in their eyes, if it's okay in the culture, I'll do it. If not, I won't do it. But when people look at me and they look me in the eyes, you know what they see? They see not my body. They see my soul. You are not defined by outside things, money, drugs, sex, alcohol, pornography, fame and fortune. If you put your happiness in temporary things, your happiness will be temporary. Most bad things in the world starts with 3 bad evils: pride, lust, and greed. Most of the world that we have today, when you look at the world with 2 billion people who have less than a handful of food to eat daily, many people who don't have education, what we're going to see is an example where we need to, as much as we can, not just get, but also always invest back into the next generation. And as my parents always said, don't forget those who have less than you. And I'm glad to tell you today that that DNA has helped me to know that no matter how much money I have, it doesn't make me more of a status, even though some people think that. No. Do you want to know why people like me? It's because I love you. I don't care who you are, I love you. I don't care how rich you are, I love you. I don't care how poor you are, I love you. Love has no bounds. When my parents saw me, they loved me without limit. When I look at my wife, I love my wife without limit. She looks at me, I have no arms and legs, just in case you've forgotten. It's amazing what love can do when we love each other and love the world. And when this janitor loved me, and he said, I believe in you, and I spoke, and this girl cried. And I looked at her, and I knew she would never be the same again. And then they said, can we have your number? And I'll get invited to this speech, and this speech, and this speech. And then one person crying on my shoulder said, no one's ever told me that they love me. No one's ever told me that I'm beautiful the way that I am. And her life was changed forever. And I came back to Mom and Dad, and I said, Mom and Dad, I know what I want to be for the rest of my life. And my dad said, good, finish school first. And I said, yes, sir. I was doing a double degree in accounting and financial planning. I was already in the stock market making more money than my friends. I was already flipping homes at age 19. I had already an entrepreneurial business as a teenager because my dad said, figure it out. Stop complaining. Stop wishing that something's different. Stop waiting for something more. You must agree with me that if you want to reach the unimaginable, you need to become masters of leverage. The people who achieve their unimaginable dreams have mastered one skill, and the skill is leverage. Leveraging in understanding who am I, what do I have, and what do I have to do to get it. When I told my mom and dad, hey mom and dad, I want to be a speaker. My mom said, excuse me? I said, yes. What do you mean? What are you going to speak about? I said, I don't know. She said, who's going to want to hear you speak? I said, I don't know. She said, how are you going to get the invitations? I said, I don't know. This is before YouTube. This is before YouTube. You know the phone book? We had no internet in Australia at the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to honor my parents as much as I can, but I'm also going to be a speaker on the side. And that's what I did. You want to know how I started? I called 52 schools, and they all said no. If you got a pen and paper, I'm going to give you the 7 principles right now. And I'm going to share with you the 7 principles of success. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you try? I'll say it again. I don't know what I can achieve until I try. Second, when I fail, I will what? Try again. Not complicated, is it? Who likes failure?
I do.
No one. I hate
I will
failure.
fail until I try.
Number 4, ready? Sorry, number 3. I love you, so I was just seeing if you're awake. Number 3, ready? But I want you to know how this gender affected me. If I could come and speak at your school. That's how I was at 19. And guess what? No. 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 Even one school said, we don't want you to come because you're just going to scare everyone at school. Was that offensive? Hello? Was that offensive? Yes. If I swallow my ego, failure is my classroom. If I don't know anything about marketing, I'm not going to see that as a barrier. I'm not going to see that as a disaster. I'm going to see it as an opportunity. If I don't know how to speak, I'm going to learn how to be a speaker. If I don't know how to market myself, I'm going to market myself the best way that I can. And every time I got to know, I want to tell you right now, I got better and better and better and better. And on my 53rd phone call, this is how it went. Hello, my name is Vujicic. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm 25. Come and speak at your school about bullying, self-esteem, dreaming big, and never giving up. And guess what they said? Yes. And I got in that school, and I spoke. And then when I got in that school, another school heard about me and called me. And they said, hey, we heard you're a speaker. Can you come and speak at my school? I want you to know, I'm sorry if I make you jealous. I don't want to make you jealous if you're a business person yourself. But we all know that in business that you can't do anything successfully without marketing, generally speaking. Everyone, I want you to know that without marketing, from ground up, before my parents even knew it, before I even realized the unimaginable, I have now spoken 3,500 times in 70 countries, and I want you to see this photo. This is the largest audience we've ever had, 800,000 people in Ukraine, with 26 million people, 26 countries, 53 million people watching this little guy on stage. And I'll never forget, when I saw a little boy with no arms and no legs in the crowd one day, and I looked at him, and he had a little foot like me, and I'm like, wow, he's just like me. And I had flashbacks of when I was a kid and kids would tease me, and I could tell him, hey, my history is really his story in the making, in a way. To know that there is a creator who designs a greater plan for our life. and I can tell him, don't give up on you. Do your best and keep on going one day at a time. Dream big, never give up, and have faith. Faith to believe in what you cannot see, and not just what you cannot see, but even the things you can't even imagine. And this boy was getting teased in school, at his school, and I went to his school in my wheelchair, and I didn't run over anyone deliberately. But I went there to talk about love, and no one teased anyone after I went there. Daniel, now he's 13 years old, 14 years old. He just graduated middle school in USA. I now live in California. I was Australian born. I want you to know that when I hear about this boy, now seeing that, okay, if Nick had a good life, then maybe I don't have to give up. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been abused? Have you ever been misjudged? Have you ever been displaced? And have you ever been lonely? What if your history is still in the making of your story to help another person? It's one thing for me to help a limbless child. It's one thing for me and my wife to sponsor 15 other children and full education, which we do in Africa. But it's another thing when you realize that you have the power to encourage someone else unlocking their unimaginable world. And I want you to know that I am happy. I am happy. If I die today, I die happy. And I'm not afraid, because I know where I'm going. And I want you to know today, when your soul is restored and your spirit has found joy and your spirit has found peace and your spirit has found purpose in your life. Do you see this smile? I know the truth, that I don't need to be like someone. And when the world says that I'm not good enough, I get a second opinion. Be you to the best of your ability to see your unimaginable become reality one step at a time. I want you to know, dream big and get out of your own way. When you hear those little voices, oh, you're not good enough, just get a second, you'll always be a failure. You must believe in yourself. You must believe in yourself. And take one day at a time, one day at a time. So let's keep on going and let's reach the unimaginable. I want you to know, lastly, one practice that I do every day. I wake up in the morning and I'm thankful. Do you see this smile? Do you want to know the happiest people I've been around? I've been around more people poor and happy than rich and happy. And let me tell you, here's the secret. Write down every blessing. Do you know what I love about your culture? You always say, Inshallah. Inshallah. If God wills. Write down every day what you're thankful for. This smile is because Nick is not complaining about having arms and legs. Nick is thankful, and he's going to do his best. In Dubai, I just hope with the time that was given me today that I've imparted some inspiration. That it's not about that I had more than you or you had more than me. It's about here we are. Let's move forward. Let's dream big and do the impossible. Dubai, thank you so much for having me. Thank you so come and speak at your school. That's how I was at 19. And guess what? No. Even one school said, we don't want you to come because you're just going to scare everyone at school. Was that offensive? Hello, was that offensive? Yes. If I swallow my ego, failure is my classroom. If I don't know anything about marketing, I'm not going to see that as a barrier. I'm not going to see that as a disaster. I'm going to see it as an opportunity. If I don't know how to speak, I'm going to learn how to be a speaker. If I don't know how to market myself, I'm going to market myself the best way that I can. And every time I got to know, I want to tell you right now, I got better and better and better and better. And on my 53rd phone call, this is how it went. Hello, my name is Vujicic. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm 25. Come and speak at your school about bullying, self-esteem, dreaming big, and never giving up. And guess what they said? Yes.